Hey guys, back here with another great recipe. This is a very important, crucial first step. You got to take these walnuts, soak them in some water, and then you're going to put them in the fridge overnight. Now, this is a pasta salad recipe. So, pasta salad recipes usually have beans and olives, but trust me, you don't want to eat beans and olives for a whole week, especially if you're meal prepping. Your digestive system will thank you. So, we like to do things in kind of an efficient way. So you turn on the oven first because we're going to be baking the chicken. And then, of course, next easiest thing to do is always get a pot boiling so you can get your pasta ready to go. Yeah, get the meat ready to go. Get it out of its package, strip it. You make sure to thaw it the night before. You can leave it out of the fridge if you plan on cooking it in the morning. Now you're going to want to put your chicken in a bowl like we have here. And you're going to want to take some Dijon mustard for this recipe. All right, here's a crucial step. Cover the chicken with as much Dijon mustard as you think is appropriate. Usually a recipe will say like a tablespoon or two. But as you cook more, you'll get a general feel about how much you want to coat your meat with, which is good for you. And then you got to mix it around so you coat your meat with the sauce. Crucial step. Look, I even put extra here. What the heck? What am I doing? I'm struggling a little bit, but okay. We'll get it. We'll get it. All right, we got it eventually. Just keep going. Now, this recipe called for beans and olives. One of those replacements, we were going to use those soaked crushed walnuts. And the other thing I decided to replace the other ingredient with is carrots. So, I found some giant carrots at Meyer. We'll just cut off the ends, and then we'll skin them, peel them. You can also give them a little wash under the water if you feel the need. I think I decided I didn't want to use all of the carrot, so I saved some, throw away in the freezer for another recipe, another time. You don't want to waste. You don't want to waste your food. Just peeling the carrots here right over the garbage can. Super easy cleanup. Just if you get a little too aggressive with it, you can have some shards flying off in random directions. Always seems to happen. After skinning the carrots, I decided to cut them in half because I decided to bake them with the chicken to make them a little softer. Because why not? They'll make your carrots a little bit tastier. And what I usually do for my pans is I usually just butter them and try to get away from sprays and oils if I can. Whatever you can do to improve your health a little bit. It's just small little things. I also have a glass baking tray instead of a non-stick one. I try to avoid non-stick products because of the chemicals they apply. Another crucial thing here with these chicken breasts and baking them, a couple of them I got were smaller, like little chicken tenderloins. Those ones are good to bake, but those big hunkin' chicken breasts that I have, they're not going to cook that well when you have them that big. So I recommend cutting them down even before you start baking them. Had to use another tray because I had so much meat here. Once you got those ready to go, throw them in the oven, set a timer for 15 to 20 minutes. At this point, our water is just about boiling, so we'll add the pasta to the water. Maybe add a little bit more salt if you want. Once that timer goes off, get ready to take your trays out of the oven and get ready to flip over all of your chicken. Tongs work best, but you can use a spatula if you're talented enough, I suppose. Wouldn't be a bad option. Be careful, it's just going to be very hot. Don't bare hand the tray. All right, and meanwhile, the whole time while you got that cooking, and after you're done flipping, cooking it for another 20 minutes, perfect time to cut up your other ingredients. Here we have some cucumbers. What I find, if you're going to be having this the whole week, what you're going to want to do is cut the cucumbers in half and then use a spoon to dig out the innards, the guts, a little bit. That way the cucumbers last a bit longer. They don't get as soggy. Pretty useful tip. Otherwise, if you're going to just only have them over the next couple of days, then you probably don't need to do that. You want to dice the cucumber. That's probably what's going to work best for this recipe. Find a technique that works good for you. I think I did a bunch of horizontal cuts, but not all the way through, to kind of keep everything together. And then I just did a couple of vertical cuts, or just cuts in the opposite direction after I finished all those little cuts. The next ingredient to chop up is celery. Look at this. Give it a quick wash. And then what I like to do is cut off the ends, both sides. One side usually has these little leaves, and then there's the big, call it the core, I usually cut off. And then after you do that, you're going to want to dice this up as well, just like you did with the cucumber. They're both similar shapes, so it should be easy enough for you to do this all over again. And we got some peppers here, which of course we're also going to dice up. Now there's a couple of different techniques for cutting up a pepper, but the one I usually like is to cut off the top and then cut off the bottom, and then you do a small little cut down the side of it so you can rip it open, and then you can kind of just yank out all the seeds, the core, and then kind of brush off all the other seeds off into the garbage can. And then once you're done with that, it'll make it easier to kind of cut off the remaining, I want to call them rinds. You don't want to cut all the way into the pepper, just kind of want to cut along the same level as you can see, and then you can just rip it off like I did here. found a little mixing bowl to use. You might use this as well to make it easier for you. Keep your cutting board all open. Just throw all the peppers in here and throw it in with the cucumber and the celery we diced already earlier. Then we're going to take those walnuts we made the previous night. Just drain out the water in a little strainer bowl. And then we're going to throw them in with all those other ingredients that we had. And if you have some time, you can also start cleaning some of the extra dishes. That way you don't have a giant plethora of stuff to clean at the end. And then next up, we're going to start making our dressing. All right, start off here. You want to get some red wine vinegar. About half a cup. Maybe a little bit more is probably good. All right, for your next ingredient for the dressing, I'm going to use some olive oil. I decided to pour it in a cup here to make it easier to pour into a tablespoon measurement, because we're using about 12 tablespoons worth. Although, probably would have been easier just to convert 12 tablespoons to how much that is per cup. But we're doing it this way because it's more fun. All right, now a lot of sauces sometimes call for garlic cloves, but you can also just use garlic powder. Say the ratio I found online is about an eighth of a teaspoon of garlic of powder is equal to one garlic clove. So personally, I just find sometimes just better to use the powder because it mixes in better. But you do whatever you feel like is best. Sometimes I go with the fresh cloves. Depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Then we're going to add some basil, 2 teaspoons. Then we're going to add some oregano, same amount, 2 teaspoons. And the reason I have it in this glass jar is because I accidentally melted the container it was in. Gotta be careful with electric stoves sometimes and remember which burners you had on. We're also going to add some more Dijon mustard in, another 2 tablespoons. You can use, your measuring spoon here, or sometimes I find it's easier just to add it. And then if you want, optional, you can add some crushed red pepper flakes. And then, of course, that's going to be half a teaspoon. And then last but not least, you can add some salt and pepper to taste. I got the grinders for both. So you can add however much you feel is necessary. Same with the black pepper. And then once that's done, give it all a good mix. Make sure you mix it real good. This dressing's gonna coat everything you made. Okay, and now your pasta should be done. So that means you're going to drain the water. Crucial step in pasta making. Just get out that strainer you used earlier with the walnuts. Pour it down there. Be careful, everything's going to be real hot as well. And if you were doing everything well and coordinated, your baked goods should also be done as well. You just cut up the carrot and add it to the pot. And then you're going to add all the diced ingredients from earlier to the pot. Now, when you're making a large meal prep portion like this, maybe you want to break it up, or you can kind of evaluate by eye if you're going to be able to fit the chicken and all these mixed ingredients in one pot. I think what I ended up doing is saving some of the chicken to put in the meal prep containers, and then I added some of the chicken here with the dressing, as you can see, and you're just going to mix everything together. And make sure you just mix for as long as you want, because when you have lots of ingredients, it's kind of hard to get to the very bottom. I'm just adding the chicken little by little after I already kind of mixed everything, so all the other ingredients are coated. And then I just add little bits of chicken here and there and kind of give it a mix, and then add some more. I'm just doing this because there's so much stuff in this one pot now, and I didn't really feel like grabbing another dish because I didn't want to have more to wash later on. The best part, you're almost done. Here you can see I'm adding whatever chicken I didn't mix in with that big pot from earlier. Then you kind of just want to portion everything out from your big pot and add it to your containers. Depending on the size of your spoon, one big spoon or two or three of a smaller spoon might be enough to start. And then once you hit every container, then you can go back and add whatever's left from your pot into each container that you determine has less than the others until you kind of get them all roughly even. Doesn't need to be perfect. And look at that, a beautiful pasta salad. And the carrots and walnuts were a nice touch. Now, wash those dishes. If you didn't wash as you go, which sometimes you have the time to, depending on what recipe you're doing, really helps out. Otherwise, you just have a huge plethora, there it is again, of dishes to wash at the end. And it's better just to wash them sooner rather than later. So, thanks for watching. And hopefully you enjoyed this recipe. I just dig up recipes from the internet that I find interesting and try to credit whoever made them. And then maybe one day I'll be good enough of a chef to start coming up with my own recipes. But I think everything's been done before. So we're just going to find the tastiest recipes we can find and make them. Thanks for watching.
Got a ticket to